everyone. Lisa Haven here. Well, SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk has just issued a paralyzing warning for the American people. And this particular warning, I believe, holds absolute merit in what he's saying. Now, before I get into the report, just a quick break. The power grids across America may be on the brink of failure. High winds over in California, for example, are causing power outages all across the state. And experts are now warning that more blackouts are on the way. The modern power grid was simply not designed to handle the workload that us humans and the climate have put on it. This is why I highly recommend Lightbug at lightbug.com. But just what is a Lightbug? Well, this is one right here, and this is a portable solar-powered ultra bright floodlight, and you guys are definitely going to want to get your hands on it. This light is an absolute must for any power outages that you might have, and it has 3 separate settings: one for fishing, one for camping, and even labor at nighttime. The good news is, since this thing is solar powered and you can see the solar panel right here, you don't have to worry about wires or batteries, none of that. And on top of that, if you drop it in the water or throw it on the ground or it falls on the ground, it is impact and water resistant. Now, this Lightbug makes an amazing Christmas present. I'm actually getting one for my father. Hopefully he's not watching this, but it's a good present for anyone who is a camper, a hiker, a prepper, anything of that sort. And on top of it all, it actually can charge your cell phone as well. You can see the plug here that you can use to charge your cell phone on top of it all. And I'll show you the setting here. You can see how bright this thing is. It's got the strobe light and just the regular light here as well. So a very bright, amazing product. Get it for a Christmas present for someone you know and love today, as I will be definitely doing that. But go to lightbug.com, Lytebug.com. And for my listeners, you get an extra 20% off an already discounted product. Use the coupon code Lisa and the number 20. That's Lisa 20. All right. Want more information? Go to the website or click in the description box below. All right. Back to the broadcast. All right, so just what is this warning that was issued by Elon Musk? We'll take a look at this article on CNBC.com. Elon Musk says that civilization is going to crumble if people don't have more children. And it's a very recent article published December 7th, 2021. But the article goes on to detail this. It says Tesla and space CEO Elon Musk wants people to have more babies. And he says, quote, "There are not enough people," Musk told a Wall Street Journal event on Monday. "I can't emphasize this enough. There are not enough people," he said. The tech billionaire said low and rapidly declining birth rates are one of the biggest problems to civilization. His comments come as a growing number of people are deciding not to have children, citing concerns such as climate change and inequality. Musk added that too many good and smart people think there are too many people in the world and that the population is growing out of control. He concludes, "It's completely the opposite of that," Musk said, urging people to look at the data. If people don't have more children, civilization is going to crumble, mark my words. Now, why would Elon Musk say such a thing when most globalists, because I don't particularly care for much that Elon Musk says, however, most of the globalists and elitists of the earth are giving us the opposite, saying there's too many people, we need to put limits on how many children you can have, the whole 9 yards. Well, obviously, I don't subscribe to that personally because, well, God created the earth and we are supposed to inhabit it. And there is just not enough evidence that I'm going to be convinced that we are overpopulated. Because if you take everybody on the planet, I believe it's the state of Texas that we could all fit in, or maybe it's even a smaller state, but that would be with a small house and a yard, I believe. But anyhow, what is it that is causing Mr. Musk to say this? Are there things that could merit such a concern in the United States of America? Well, I did a little bit of research to find out if that is the case or not. And ultimately, you guys can kind of decide this, but take a look at some of the stuff I found here. And the first one here is a Pew Research report, And here it is. Growing share of childless adults in the United States don't expect to ever have children. Some 44% of non-parents ages 18 to 49 say it is not or not at all likely that they will have children someday. An increase, by the way, of 7 percentage points from the 37% who said the same in 2018. And here's a little diagram here. I'll kind of blow that up a little bit for you. But you can see in 2018, if you add 16 plus 21, that's like what, 37 there. That's about 37% in 2018. Go on up to 2021, add the 21 plus the 23, we're at 44%. That's a massive increase in just a few amount of years, saying, hey, we're just not going to have kids anymore. But that's not all I discovered. If you go in and ask, what's the reason why they're not having kids? Well, if you scroll in that same research report there, it says the majority of childless adults say the reason that they're probably not going to have kids is flat out, they just don't want them. And 56% basically said, hey, we just don't really want kids. And if I'm going to be very blunt with you, after seeing all the corruption with the COVID pandemic and after seeing the corruption of our U.S. government, the mishandling of our entire economic system, the massive amounts of debts just piled on over and over and over again after every year, and all the socialism and communism that is rising in the United States of America, quite frankly, I would... If I were to choose to have kids today, I may not do so. I mean, I've got kids of my own now, but it's just a wild place to be. And I really still feel sorry for our children because our world is becoming more unstable and harder to have kids. And I believe that's one of the reasons that this is happening. But that's not all. Some other things are also shrinking that are adding to it. The immorality is running rampant, as you know, and I believe that's what's causing this. Take a look at this Bloomberg article here. And it's U.S. married couple households with children fall to a record low. Married couples not so, quote, popular anymore. It says the share of U.S. 130 million households headed by married parents with children under the age of 18 fell to 17.8% in 2021 from 18.6% last year. And that's according to the Census Bureau. And overall, that's down from more than 40%. That's massive in 1970. And that's not all. We also have this to think about, thehill.com, America's single parent families, which means we are having more single parent families. In observant of National Single Parent Day on March 21st, it's worth noting that America has one of the highest levels of single parent families with children in the world. About 30% of American families with kids under 18, amounting to 10 million households, are single parent families. The share of American families with children living with a single parent has tripled since 1965. Massive. The large majority of those single parent families, approximately 75%, are headed by only a mother. In 2020, nearly 19 million children, amounting to 25% of all children in the U.S., were living in single parent families. That percentage is nearly 3 times the level in 1960 of 9%. These are pretty bold numbers here in the United States of America. Then we also have this New York Post. More American adults are living alone. Living alone, says the Central Bureau reports. And not only just living alone, many are actually lonely as well. Here's an NPR article. Most Americans are lonely and our workplace culture may not be helping. So we've got a wide range of things happening here. We have single families growing. We have married families shrinking. We have people feeling lonely, more people living alone, and less people wanting to have children. These are 5 major impacts. So would you consider Elon Musk, who I consider one of the elitists, if you will, as a legit warning? And I do believe that there is absolute merit to what he is saying and what he is warning about. Obviously, I don't subscribe to the overpopulation either way. But one last thing that I want you to see that Elon Musk has also warned about, and he's warning around the same period as the other warning, but he's warning about the government and how they are out of control. Take a listen to what he has to say in this next clip here that I found on Zero Hedge. And here's what he says. He explains the government in just a couple of seconds, but I'm going to only play a clip for you. Take a listen.
You can think of the government essentially as a corporation in the limit. The government is simply the biggest corporation with a monopoly on violence, and where you have no recourse. So how much money do you want to give that entity?
So how much money How much money, he says, do you want to give that entity? How much money? This is an organization, the U.S. government, who's recklessly spending us into oblivion. And by the way, if you took all the billionaires in the United States of America and you confiscated all their money, it would still not be enough to cover our debt. It would barely scratch a surface on the amount of debt that the U.S. government has racked up in our name. We've got massive amounts of debts on each one of our heads. So he's really saying something here. The government is simply the biggest corporation, because they are, and they have no recourse. They're spending recklessly. How long can that last? And how long should we continue to fund an entity that is literally reckless with our money? And I think these are good questions that he's actually asking as well. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'd love to get your comments. Please don't forget, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Make sure you have that bell clicked, because as you know, they've unclicked and unchecked the bell here on my channel for many of you. I get many emails and responses from you guys on that. Please make sure that's checked so you hopefully get notifications, and make sure you're still subscribed, because as you know, they're not sending my videos out to people, which is why I created Restricted Republic. So check that out. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.